Okay, so
All right, shall we?
let's do this. Welcome to our knitting space. It is Jocelyn and Diana coming to you again from Osborne in Winnipeg in Canada.
Canada?
Canada. Did you not ever see those commercials on TV? They were on when I was a kid. You had the ones where you had the European settlers coming over and talking to the Native Americans, and the Native Americans would point off on the East Coast and say Canada, and rather than being like the tribe, the European settlers assumed it meant the whole country. Sort of a way to explain. There are heritage moments.
Right,
Yeah,
the heritage moments.
Yeah, so now sometimes when I say Canada, I say Canada, because I'm old enough to remember this, and it amuses me.
Nice.
Listen, I also really can identify that Duck Loon song from Ducks Unlimited from the TV. Because they would do those commercials about the waterways and preserving nature and stuff. Like, I really remember that duck, or I think it's a loon call that would come on before that happened. That's really ingrained in my brain, too. Random trivia moment of the day. Things that occur when you're in your 30s, the stuff you remember. It's just getting ridiculous now.
I'm terrified about what things I'll spout about the 90s.
What, 4 more years and you're in my same age bracket? I keep forgetting how much younger you are than me. That's
8
not
years.
English.
8 years.
Holy Hannah, there's almost a decade between us.
Mm-hmm.
And
While you're on about your heritage moments, and I'm like, herp, derp, derp, derp. Well, it's a heritage moment.
Every once in a while, but most of the time it doesn't occur to me that we're that different in age. We don't have a lot of sort of age gap issues.
No.
Just a few, like the one I just demonstrated.
That's mostly a nostalgia thing. I think it's because you're not doing the house and the kids thing. Which is why we don't have the gender gap. No, there's no gender gap between us.
Last time I checked, we were the same gender.
I'm pretty sure.
I didn't change this morning, did you?
It's been a long day.
Still a girl.
Now that we've babbled through our entire intro, should we actually intro?
Sure, Diana. Why don't you tell everybody what we're gonna cover today? Theoretically, not even theoretically. We are not concise. We're not.
Nope, there's no theory here.
Settle in, grab your knitting. It's gonna be one of those days again.
Have fun editing this.
For anybody who listens, we're contemplating Patreon because unedited podcasts roll in at about 3 hours a piece, and you guys get about an hour's worth of it. So I'm thinking that might be a perk if we do Patreon, as once a month I will post an unedited podcast, so you can just hear how much babble we do.
Far too much babbling.
Oh, far too much babbling. Alright.
We are covering this week What's in Our Cups, Cool Threads, Woolly Workings, Fiber Flubs, So Little Time, Events, and a book review.
Woohoo! Well, Diana, I know what's in my cup. What's in yours?
I've had a long day, so I am drinking single malt scotch.
I mean, as a reference point, it got to plus 30 today with the Humidex, and your, what should be a 40-minute commute to work?
So let me just tell the story.
Oh yes, please, because what we need is more story. Go.
Absolutely. Let me tell you about the story of my going to work this morning. It was so long. I walked out the front door at 8:10. I walked into work at 9:50.
Oh my gosh.
It was only supposed to take 40 minutes. I was supposed to be there at 10 to 9, not 10 to 10.
Oh, man.
Google Maps let me down horrifically in its busing directions, and I ended up having to walk for 45 minutes.
In your dress shoes.
In women's dress shoes.
Ugh.
I now have a very large blister in the middle of the ball of my foot, and it is extremely uncomfortable.
I didn't even know you could get blisters there.
Neither did I, but I have one.
Alright, I guess.
So I am drinking scotch today.
That's totally fair. I hid in my cool basement till I had to go outside in plus 30-degree Humidex heat, because while we may talk about minus 30, minus 40 plus with wind chills in December, January, February, sometimes even into March, we are now into June, which is where we've reached the plus 30 section of the seasonal changes that is Winnipeg. Which is
But
fine, because, I mean, it happens
windy.
all over the country. And the wind does help. Like, it's a very windy in the
It wasn't
city.
like a stagnant, horrible...
No, we didn't...
choke you to death kind of heat.
No, we had the wind, which was super appreciated today. Also, my buses, air-conditioned.
Yeah.
Yes! So happy when I have the air-conditioned bus. Just makes the travel all that more comfortable. Yup. So, I did not have a horrific transit to work today, so I am having a cup of orange-spiced rooibos tea from the second cup, which smells delightfully orange and spicy, and tastes delightfully orange and spicy.
It even looks delightfully orange and spicy.
So I'm enjoying it with a couple of sugars to make it a nice sort of sweet, desserty tea, and that is what I am drinking. In addition to the standard Canada Dry ginger ale, which sort of goes with me everywhere. But that's what's in our cup. Let's go with the cool threads.
I have a cool thread.
You know, I promised I'd be done with cool threads, and then I remembered I live in a basement, which is naturally colder than the rest of the house.
I work in an office, which is temperatured for men.
So the cool threads will be a thing. Sporadically a thing, but a thing nonetheless.
Yep.
So don't be shocked, but man, I was rocking my grandma vibe the other day.
Yeah?
Sitting in my bed with my coffee shop shawl wrapped around my shoulders, knitting by 9 o'clock in the evening. Oh, I'm hip and happening, people.
That's alright. I got on my bus this morning, wearing my shawl with my grandmother's actual shawl clip from the 60s.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
rocking the grandma shawl. Like, wearing the shawl as a shawl, not even like a trendy hipster scarf. Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
So the rainbow side is frequently coming to work with me.
Oh, sure, why not? I mean, it makes a lot of sense.
And it can decorate my chair all nice when I'm not wearing it.
It's true, it can. So, we will theoretically have cool threads throughout the warmer seasons, as I'm currently working on a couple of fingering weight shawls.
I need to make some fingerless gloves because the air conditioning blows right on me and my hands get so cold.
Oh, the fingerless gloves are amazing because your fingers are free, but that just sort of helps warm everything up. And I highly recommend fingerless gloves. So there's that. All right. Shall we do some woolly workings?
Let's do some woolly workings.
You know, I think this week I might be on par, if not fewer projects than you.
Oh, because you've been very monogamous.
I've been very monogamous. I have 3.
I have 3 and one of them is a finished object.
I have 3 and none of them are finished objects.
Would you like to start?
Sure. I have continued my work on my 365 Granny Day project. I am still following faithfully the Yarn Utopia YouTuber. Is it Yarn Utopia? Yeah, it's Yarn Utopia.
Yep.
She does amazing tutorial videos. They're very clean, they're very clear, and I'm now started to occasionally watch her other crochet videos, just because I really like the way she teaches and the stuff she's got. So my queue is continuing to grow, because then I go find the projects and I add them to my queue. And
Queue's at, what, 400 and something?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, in a month or two we'll be over 500, I have no doubt. I didn't think I'd take to crocheting this well, so I'm super excited that I have. But now that I've got that crochet bug and I have the knitting bug, like, I don't have time for more crafting. But I still want to learn to weave and loom by the end of the year. That might not happen to 2018. I'm going to have to admit defeat at some point and my need to sleep and feed myself.
I think the weaving isn't going to happen this year.
I don't think so. I'm going to leave it on the plate as I'd like to get to it. Because even if all I manage to do is do it once before December 31st, then I'm counting it as a victory. So.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So, it's on hopeful? That's a hopeful maybe. Maybe hopeful. However that works out as English. What have you been working on?
I finished a thing.
Oh my goodness, you finished a thing!
I finished a pair of things.
Oh, that's right, you did!
I finished my dad's safety socks.
You did!
Which I do not have to show off because I have already given them to him.
However...
He went in for some fairly run-of-the-mill? No, what's the word I'm looking for? Ordinary?
Minor
surgery.
Surgery is not ordinary. Minor surgery makes more... There's no such thing as ordinary surgery. Surgery's not ordinary. A lot of people never have surgery in their life.
Okay. Some very basic minor surgery.
That'll work.
So I gave him his socks a week early as a get better early Father's Day present. So he's been enjoying his socks, and I took some pictures of my parents wearing their socks together.
They're on the Instagram, the Northern Knits podcast on Instagram. You should guys go find us. I have managed so far to post non-spoilery starting point knit-along shawl posts. I think I earned some props for that. Well, in my mind I do anyway.
Well, they've been good pictures.
I hope so. I'm trying, because it's hard to post them so that they're not spoilery. So that's been an interesting feat on my part. I have not been working on any socks. I really, really need to start socks. Everybody talks about socks and I don't make any, and I'm like, oh, I need to make some socks, guys.
You'll
Just
get
so
there.
I know how to do it. And decide whether or not I like the magic loop or don't like the magic loop. I'm pretty set on the toe up thing.
Toe up is nice.
Yeah, so I think I can live without doing cuff down. I think I can live with toe up, which is fine. I have been doing my nighttime knitting, or my bedtime old granny knitting, has been my Boneyard Shawl by Stephen West. Again, doing it in the Bernay Premium yarn in the, it says teal, and we're calling it Caribbean Blue. Again, as I have made 3 rows, maybe 4 rows of advancement, it's on the podcast, because I knit on it. I knitted on it.
Yeah, it's kind of the same for the other ones.
Which is fair. What else have you been working on?
I'm continuing to work on my texture triangle shawl. I'm into section 3. I'm into the lace bit of section 3. Just
Well, that's
plodding
not too
along. It, last week's flub continues.
Oh boy.
It's a 2-week flub.
That is a massive flub.
It was a very minor flub. It's just lingering.
Oh, okay.
So I'll talk about that later.
Yeah. The only other thing I've got is the Mystery Knit Along the Starting Point shawl by Jody Hotelli. I have got to be getting closer at that.
Can't help you.
Not.
I have no idea.
I really can't. I'm going to post to my Ravelry page, which should show up in the Ravelry group page, the non-spoiler photos that I've taken, because it is hard to avoid, like so hard to avoid being spoilered. Thankfully, I watch the YouTubers I follow who are knitting YouTubers on my phone, because I'm very rarely somewhere where I'm at my computer. So when they're talking about it, I will flip the screen over so the screen's face down, so I'm just hearing the details, I'm not seeing the details, and I don't feel like I'm cheating that way, because I know the shawl is rectangular, I know the shawl has stripes, I'm working on the shawl, I am aware of these things, but I'm not seeing it because everybody else is much farther ahead than I am, because I started late. My own fault.
I totally cheated and looked up work in progress pictures of the shawl.
I can't. I have to stay true to what I signed on for, which was a mystery knit along, which is so hard.
I'm going to say, based on the pictures I've seen, that you will like the finished object because it's similar to something else in your queue.
Oh, excellent. You mean like 50 other billion things in my queue?
Well, probably anything I could pull off of Ravelry is similar to something in your queue.
Yeah.
Okay. Something that recently went into your queue.
Okay. That narrows it down a little. Okay.
So, narrows it down to 50 things.
No, yeah, pretty much. So, I'm enjoying it so far. I'm really enjoying working on it. I'm doing it in a cotton, Barocco cottons. So, I have 4 colorways in a 100% cotton. 1 in a cream color, 1... And they don't have colorways, they have numbers for it, which is fine. So, I've got a nice light blue, which I would say it was like light pale gray blue, and then I have a medium richer blue, and then I have a dark blue, and then my variegated yarn I went with the great blue Huron from Ancient Arts Yarns.
Which I'm super liking how that knits up.
Oh my goodness, it is so freaking pretty. I'm like, I have a friend who's getting married in Edmonton in August. The temptation to go to his wedding just so I could accidentally go to River City Yarns is quite high. So, there's that.
Ulterior motives for going to weddings.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Super, super big ulterior motives. But that is all I've been knitting. Like, it hasn't been 50 billion projects because I am so far behind.
You really want that fancy coffee.
Oh my god, there's fancy coffee on the line. Must do it. Well, and I also don't want it to take all summer. I want it to be done. I want to be able to wear it. I want to be able to show it off. And I really want to be able to check out everybody else's photos. So I've got to put my nose to the grindstone and get her done. There's other knit-alongs I want to join this summer, and there's other things going on that I want to do, so it's gotta happen.
All right. I have one more thing that I've been working on.
Ooh, absolutely.
Sitting beside me currently is still the Belrose shawl, which is the first Strickmick package from Martina Bame's Yarn Club.
Yep. It's still just as pretty as ever. It's in the, I call it Country Rose, but they call it a Remembering Rose?
Remembering Rose from Sheep en Soie.
Ugh. That's got silk in it, right?
Yes, it is an 80% merino, 20% silk in Remembering Rose, which is aptly named. It is a rosy pink color.
Oh, so
and
pretty.
It's super soft and very drapey.
Mm-hmm.
And it's lovely.
Oh, yeah, no, it's wonderful. I think we need to...
slowly plugging away at it.
We really discovered you and deadlines are not a big thing.
Me and deadlines, because I have on the other side of me, I have the second Strickmick Club package, which I'm not going to start until I finish the first one. So it's sitting there taunting me because the second one
is so pretty.
Comes with purple and green, but like a really good green, and purple is like my favorite color.
Ugh.
It's not even like my favorite. It is my favorite color. Yeah. As I sit here with my purple notebook and my purple glasses and my purple, what else? Yeah.
Yeah, no, you like purple, my dear. It'd be like saying I don't like polka dots. I only kind of like polka dots. I severely like polka dots. Like, it is an obsession level of polka dottedness going on at this point. I bought an extra pair of capris this summer I didn't need because they had polka dots on them.
Oh, my phone's also purple.
Oh, that's true. No, you are a fan of purple.
I like purple.
I wonder if I'll get to the second Strickmick yarn pattern before you do. And I do have 2, possibly 3 more fingering weight shawls on the platform this summer for myself. That's not mentioning my Christmas presents.
Yes, because Jocelyn saw the yarn from my package and went, "Oh, and then I may have mentioned that there might maybe still be a couple of skeins left in the shop.
I'm buying the pattern when it's available to the public.
So yes, by the end of that evening, Jocelyn had some extra yarn coming to her.
Well, my stash isn't. I've now expanded my stash from its original location to its original location, plus under my coffee table.
Uh-oh. It's spreading.
It's spreading, because it doesn't all fit one spot anymore. But it's fine. It's not out in the open. I don't have a problem. For everybody who can't see me, I'm making shifty eyes.
Yeah, that's all I've been working on.
I have been very monogamous, because I had half of Clue 1 done the first time on Friday, and we were recording on Tuesday, and I am well over I'm just at the halfway point of the second half of Clue 1 now. So I will be into Clue 2 tomorrow, so I should be at Clue 3 by the next time we podcast next week.
I'm really excited to see this thing.
I am super excited to be done increasing, because I hate counting my stitches.
Counting stitches is terrible. Unless you're into that, in which case, come count my stitches.
Can I hire you to count my stitches?
Because that's my fiber flub.
I would rather weave in ends than count stitches. That's right, I said it.
Depending on how high I have to count.
Depending on how high I have to count.
Actually, if I may talk about my fiber flub.
Sure, we can do it out of order.
We'll talk about how I can't count. So last week, I thought I'd missed an increase, and I talked about how I was going to probably fix that.
Yes.
So when I picked it up this week,
I remember that.
I was looking at it and I'm like, you know what? I'm not sure. I did miss the increase, so I counted my stitches and I got the proper number of stitches that I should have. So I'm like, okay, good. I'm just seeing things and I didn't actually flub. So I'm knitting away, getting into the lace section, finishing the lace row, and I've got one too many stitches, or one too few, depending on how you look at it. Well,
baloney.
Yes. I said something slightly stronger that was still not a swear.
Fried bologna?
Sure, it was fried bologna. Yeah, so So I don't know if I screwed up something else at some point, or if I actually really for real did miss the increase. In which case I'm not going back the 4 rows to fix it.
No,
So
that doesn't make much sense.
I fudged it. The stitch count is right now. Nobody will notice, right? It's handmade. It's artisan. Mistakes make it artisan.
Yes, I agree with this assumption.
Yeah.
I don't know. It happens. What sections do we have next? I've already forgotten. I'm actually working on the shawl right now.
I have So Little Time next.
So Little Time.
This one is all you. I will sit here and drink my scotch.
So, the sewing has begun. Dun dun dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
I have managed to, in addition to literally doing a week's worth of knitting in a day and a half, it feels like. I have gotten through half a dozen small project bags. I have the medium bags and large bags cut out, and I'm currently putting together the medium and the large project bags for the Etsy shop. I picked up the stuff I needed for the progress keepers and the stitch markers, and then all I have left to do is order my business cards and get the stock rounded out and finished with the matching purse totes and wallets, and then the Etsy shop can go live. So I'm about 2 to 3 weeks away from a live Etsy store.
Nice.
So, with a lot of work, but that's fine. It's going to take me like 2+ weeks to get the business cards in anyway. So, I'm finally done reading. I figured out photos I've got, so I'm into production now for it. So, I'd love to say my knitting will slow down. It's not an option for me. I'm just going to have to stop sleeping.
Can't give up the knitting, just stop sleeping.
Stop sleeping. But the production levels have begun, which is good because it means I can start looking at doing craft tables. I can start looking at doing the nerdy gamery things that I've been looking at putting together to sell as well too. So it sort of lets me do some more designing work, which I really enjoy. So hopefully shortly I will have an Etsy link so I can go, please buy stuff from me. Other than that, that is pretty much it for So Little Time. I know sometime late summer I have to do a hard flip to do the costumes for C4 for the year. So
yep.
I'm very quickly running up on some very hard deadlines for stuff.
Guess I should pull out a sewing machine and see if it works.
Yep, that might be wise.
Yeah. I should probably do that.
You now know how to sew in a straight line, and that's the first step.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. I have the stuff.
I
have all of the stuff, and I can sew in a straight line.
Yep.
I just actually have to turn on my own machine.
Yeah, I can't help you with that.
I know.
My machine is currently plugged in and turned off because when I get home tonight, if it's not stupid late, it's going to be stupid late. I'm going to do some more sewing. Probably should not be sewing zippers at 11 o'clock at night.
I think that's a recipe
for disaster.
Yeah.
I can cut out more bags and stuff, though, so...
That sounds like a better idea.
That's a better idea. Or knit.
Also a good idea.
Also a good idea. Maybe Clue 2. Again, I'm going with the, because she says she's going live with the pattern on the 23rd of this month.
Yeah.
So I suspect that's when you, have to be done. But the last Clue comes out this Friday, so I'm really giving myself to next Friday to get it finished.
That seems reasonable.
Because you have a week for your finishing and stuff. And heavens knows I have not woven in any of my ends yet, so that alone is going to take me forever.
Mm-hmm.
Since I'm bypassing the weaving in ends section to just literally plow through the knitting. Because I don't mind weaving in ends. I do it while I watch Netflix or when I'm listening to an audiobook or something, so I don't find it that big of a deal. So I'm thinking I'm going to do it that way. It makes my finishing process a little longer, but that's okay. I can handle it. But that's my So Little Time. Oh. Surprise segment. We forgot to say yarn on the go at the start of the podcast.
Yep.
Oopsies.
I didn't write it down. My bad.
It happens. My yarn has traveled to somewhere other than Diana's apartment. Now, I mean, admittedly, we're in Diana's apartment right now, and my yarn is with me, so technically I have also traveled to Diana's apartment with my yarn. So that is also true. The same project even, twice now. But I took my starting point knit along with me on Sunday, on our double date, to Wonder Woman. Oh my goodness, go see the movie.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, such a good movie. It is one of the best DC movies I've seen in a long time, and it has an amazing that's what a good movie can be with a female lead.
Yes.
Not we sort of tried, but didn't really actually try. We honestly let the female be the strong character. Like, that's what a female lead movie should be.
So good. It also doesn't hurt that I feel like they say her name a disproportionate amount. So, from my perspective, I had a bunch of people yelling encouragement at me for 2 hours.
This is terribly true, which, that's fine.
So I felt great coming out of that movie, because everybody was so excited about, Diana, yeah, go Diana! I'm like, yeah, I can do nothing. I'm sitting here watching a movie, but I can do that!
Yeah, the last time my name was in a movie, it was A Knight's Tale with Heath Ledger.
Oh, that's a while ago.
So there's that. Which that was still quite enjoyable. So no, I completely understand. So after the movie, because I don't knit during the movie, I am visually impaired enough. I have the described audio helper for movies, so I don't knit during movies. But I did knit while we were out for Italian afterwards for supper. So literally between the starter course and the dinner and the dessert, I was working on the starting point shawl, because it was like, no, I must get Clue 1 done as fast as possible. So we actually came back to Diana and Chris's apartment afterwards for tea, and I literally sat in the corner with Diana and we knitted, and the boys played a game. I was just like, it's fine, I can visit longer so long as I can knit. Super serious. I gotta do some more traveling this week, so there will be yarn on the go next week as well, too.
I don't know if my yarn's going anywhere this week.
That I can't help. Yes, it is Saturday.
Yes, it is. Yes. Which we'll talk about in events.
We will. So, in other news, I've been introducing Diana to the wonderful world of YouTube videocasters for knitters. Mm-hmm. Specifically Canadian ones. I've been on the hunt. I know they're out there, so we need to find them. There's actually a pair of ladies who video podcast here in the city, actually, in Winnipeg. They're called Tale of Two Knitters, so they're good. I've only watched a couple of their episodes so far, because again, I'm discovering people as I go. I have discovered and fallen in love with the Cozy Up with the Stitchin' Sisters. They're out in Grande Prairie, Alberta. I used to live in Grande Prairie, Alberta. I have family in Grande Prairie, Alberta.
Oh, nice.
I feel like I need to go, hey, I should just come out to Grande Prairie, Alberta, and we should just visit and knit. I think that's what I need to do.
I agree.
Sounds crazy, but sure, why not? They're a delightful set of sisters. There are 4 of them. Primarily 3 of them are on the podcast, like on the video podcast. And I know the one sister isn't really a knitter, and that's fine. That's still a lot of knitting. They have made me passionately fall in love with the Hudson shawl, the Bendy Arrow shawl.
Oh, so much enabling.
Oh, so much enabling, and it's been so nice. I have it. And they're pattern designers. They're Cozy Up on Ravelry. Like, they've made some really nice stuff. That they're the ones with the Alberta Frost mittens.
Ah,
yeah,
I see,
so
I see.
I'm like, no, that's got to happen. And, of course, my love of the Grocery Girls continues. Still regretting I couldn't go to the Edmonton Fibre Frolic. Next year, I am going. I have friends in Edmonton. I've got places I can stay for free. This has got to happen. So I can spend money on yarn, because Ancient Art Yarns has exclusive stuff with River City Yarns.
What?
Yeah. Like, hello? This needs to happen. I need to find out a way to justify a trip to Edmonton to go visit River City Yarns to ogle all of their stuff in person.
Agreed.
This needs to be a thing in my mind.
Yep.
So I know the Grocery Girls, who are another video podcast, which I'm like, yes, please watch. These women are amazing, and I may be in love with Tracy's color choices, which are like super bold, bright, amazing variegated skeins of yarn. We might both also kind of like pink and purple. So
oh, this sounds dangerous.
So
I have such a backlog of podcasts. I haven't got to them so much yet, but
they're just
I'm
the
looking
new
forward
ones.
to it.
They're just the new ones. I'm still keeping up on all of my regular audio podcasts and stuff, so that's not a problem for me. But those are the 2 videocasts. And when I mean I've watched them all, I mean I have literally started at the first episode and watched all the way through for the Stitchin' Sisters, and I'm almost all the way through every single episode of the Grocery Girls.
Wow, when you commit to a podcast, you commit.
I can knit and do that to a podcast and glance up every once in a while. I do a lot more glancing and stopping with the Grocery Girls, and I spend a lot more time searching Etsy for the shops they're mentioning. But that's fine. I have no problems making longer and longer wish lists. I'm pretty much sure this Christmas all I want people to do is buy me yarn or Warhammer. That's it. That's all I want. I don't want anything else. I want yarn or Warhammer. I'm going to link my Etsy profile so they can go find the shops I favorited and the yarns I favorited and go buy me yarn. That's
Sounds
what I
like
want.
A solid Christmas.
I think that'll be great. Or Warhammer miniatures. Neither are cheap. Please buy me some yarn. Or if there's any indie dyers listening to us, if you want to send me some to try out to talk about on the podcast.
Yes. If you would like us to review your yarn,
we would love to do so. Quite gleefully. I have no problems with this. Roughly, yeah. So that's been our yarn on the go. I still have more errands and stuff to run this week, but I can talk about that next week.
Yeah, my yarn hasn't gone anywhere interesting. Well, no way that I needed it anyway. It's been traveling around in my bag. Belle Rose is coming with me everywhere now because I don't have a sock on the go. But,
the best way to sneak it in.
Events!
Gotta love those events.
We finished some events.
We did. We have one big one coming up on Saturday.
Yeah, let's talk about that one.
Sure. We have Knit in Public Day coming up this Saturday.
Knit in Public Day.
Woohoo!
Do we have a solid plan, or we're just gonna go knit places? There's loud noises in my hallway.
Ambient noise brought to you by Apartment Living. Bringing you ambient noises since apartments were made. I may have been listening to Dear Hank and John, which is a comedy podcast by the Green Brothers. I really should get you to listen to them because they don't have official sponsors for their podcast. They will pick random facts from what they've been doing in the episode, and they will make up sponsors on the fly.
Nice.
Which is what
the best
I just
kind
did.
of sponsors.
Best kind of sponsors. So that's just what I did. No, I'm lying. We would love to have real sponsors. Please, if you wish to sponsor us for advertisements or to give us stuff for giveaways, for celebrations and knit-alongs, these are all things that are in the works that I want to really do, and I'm going to drag poor Diana along with us while we do it.
Woo!
As for the plan for Knit in Public Day, I know there is the Carberry Blue Hills Fibre Festival going on, which is where a lot of people are going, which is totally fair. I don't drive. That would be
I don't
the visual.
own a car.
That would be the visual impaired part of this process. So I know we're staying in the city that day, which is totally fine. The Chase the Chill ladies, or the ladies who help. The best way to just describe the program. What you can do over the course of the year is you can donate yarn or you can knit scarves for the homeless in the city. And what they'll do is in the fall is they go hang them up and tie them up in specific locations so that those that are less fortunate than us can go pick up a scarf if they need one.
Okay.
So they're going to do their thing down at the Duck Pond at the Assiniboine Park Zoo area. And that's from 1 to 3 in the afternoon, so we might go out and do that, because that's just for a couple of hours out in the sun. But I think if we're going to do a whole day thing, and I'd like to do a whole day thing, I think we need to find some random locations and literally wander around and knit all day. Mm-hmm. I might even think it might even be worth it to go to the St. Norbert's Farmers Market and go knit there and have some iced lemonades to start the day.
We have to get there, and that's far by bus.
Not from here. From here, it's not that far.
It's still far, but it's only one bus.
Yeah. So, as long as I can get here at a reasonable hour in the morning.
Okay.
Or I'll see if I can maybe bribe my sister into driving us there, because she also likes the farmer's market.
True.
We'll have the little one, which, whatever, that's not a problem. I happen to enjoy my niece. She happens to really enjoy your company.
Which I don't understand, but apparently we're best buds.
You are best buds. You are a cool older person.
Didn't know I was cool, but hey, I'm cool. The 10-year-old says I'm cool, therefore it's true.
The 10-year-old randomly bought me flowers as a thank you gift for being an awesome aunt. So, okay, I won't say no. So I know we're going to, at the very least, sort of throw something together. What I'm going to say is follow our Facebook page, because we do have a Facebook page now. It's live, and we can do little mini Facebook Live videos throughout the day, and I can post updates as to where we're going once we have a plan. So I will post it on the Facebook page, and I will try to get a post on the Ravelry page as well, too, up and running. So if you're on Ravelry or on Facebook or Instagram, yeah, like I will make sure it's posted everywhere so you can find us and join us if you want.
Does one of us want to take over the Facebook page live for the day, and the other one can do Instagram live videos for the day?
Yeah, I think we'll have to.
Or Instagram doesn't do live.
They do stories, Instagram stories.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, let's split that up and do that for the day, because I think that'll be really nifty.
I like this plan. It sounds like fun.
I am developing a last-minute plan, which seems to be the nature of things for me. Which is totally fine. Also, shout out to Cindy who listens to us. I just saw her post today on the Ravelry page about the project she's working on. Her cardigan looks amazing. I need to reply to you, my love. I will do that probably before you hear this podcast. Since I will do that tonight and the podcast goes out on Thursday.
I should look at the Ravelry group ever and respond to people.
My bad. I am the reason the post was late this week. I should have done my work rather than dilly-dallying around and not being an effective human being or an adult. I was adulting poorly last week. I am the reason the podcast was late. There's no excuse for it. I will do better. Bad Jocelyn. Well, I felt bad because I know I have the time to do it. I just need to do it. My ball of yarn is...
now you've got it totally tangled.
Oh, man.
There you go.
There we go. There's no cat in this apartment. I should not have this much trouble with my ball of yarn. What other events are we doing this summer? This fall, this winter, this year, so far?
Do we want to talk about some of the knit-alongs? You've kind of already talked about your Starting Point mystery knit-along.
I am currently doing the Starting Point mystery knit-along. It runs, the last clue comes out this Friday, and the pattern itself is sellable on the 23rd. So I'm saying, like, the hardcore finish deadline is the 23rd. I'm going to try to be done by the... What's the Friday after the 5th? What's the Friday after the 5th? What's the Friday after the 9th? Dates, life, what?
16th?
16th. So, we'll do the, I'm trying to finish it officially for the 16th so I can check out all the photos and stuff. So that's fine. Diana is not quite my brand of lunatic.
Diana also has a 9-to-5 job where she cannot knit.
This is
sadly.
Also terribly true. I spend a lot of my life working for myself, so I work all the time, but I get more time during the day to just sort of, my break times are my knitting times, so I also judge myself when I spend too long knitting and work later into the evening, so that's a decision I get to make on my own. I'm also hoping to participate in the Grocery Girls Summer Knit Along, which starts July 1st. It's their Canada-themed one. So you'll get an entry into it if you use a Canadian yarn, if you use a Canadian pattern. What else was the other one? And it had Canada in the name.
Okay.
So there's a couple ones, like I'm not worried about Canada in the name, but I do have a fantastic wish list of Canadian yarns. Cloud9 Fiber works. And I do have a list of some wonderful Canadian designers that have some shawls and stuff that I'm looking to make. So I'm definitely going to do that because it's just, it blends in with everything else I'm doing anyway. And I know that the ladies at Wolseley Wool, which is one of the 2 local yarn stores, is doing a summer Find Your Fade, where you could do the Find Your Fade sweater, or the Find Your Fade mini, or the Find Your Fade shawl, and any one of them would count. And to enter their sort of free giveaways, because it finishes on the 31st of August, you have to use one of the, I just had the name of the yarn.
Oh, is the...
it's one of the Estelle's, one of the Estelle yarns.
Okay.
Yeah, so...
We'll link it in the show notes.
Absolutely. I'm going to go down to Wolseley Wool and eyeball their kits and see if I like one of their kits. But I'm not purchasing anything for that until I'm done the Starting Point knit along, because I'm really only got like a week to 2 left on that. So it gives me some time to see what colors are being put together for other people's fades and decide really what I want to do, and then get those up. I want to do the Find Your Fade shawl. I wanted to do it forever.
I also super want to do it, and I discovered that a lot of the One Skein Wonder skeins that I've bought while traveling, because I don't really buy souvenirs. I buy skeins of yarn from places.
Everyone should buy skeins of yarns from places in my mind.
Well, it's really cool, because then when you're knitting the thing, you remember, while you're knitting it, you remember all the stuff that you did while you were in the place.
Absolutely.
And then while you're wearing the thing, you have all the memories from when you were in the place, plus the memories of knitting it, and it's an extra special thing to knit it out of this yarn that you got from a place.
No, I agree. I think that's a really good thing.
The point of that being that much of my travel yarn actually relatively coordinates either in the gold range or the purple range.
Ooh.
So...
that would go together really nicely.
I think I might do a travel Find Your Fade.
I think that would be wonderful.
So I'm actually super excited about that. I need to go stash diving.
Cool.
Because I definitely have stash for this.
Might have to hang around and help you with that.
I might have to kick Mr. B off my computer so that I can pull out my bucket of yarn.
Or just move him sideways slightly so we can slide it out around his feet. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
The boys are gaming in the office while we record.
Yes, the office in which I also store my bucket of stash.
Why not? Mine is in my walk-in closet, under my summer dresses, in a cube unit. It's just one wide and 4 tall, and under my coffee table. So
the stash is spreading.
The stash is spreading. It's taking over, guys. But we definitely, I think that'll be really good. And it's a local knit along, which is really good. And I super enjoy being able to do stuff with other knitters in the Winnipeg community, because we have some amazing knitters.
We really do.
Oh, it's so good. Okay, what else are we doing this year?
Well, speaking of Stash,
ooh, yes.
Stash Dash started on May 26th.
It's true, it did.
And is running until August 20th.
Oh, so much to do.
Rather than having a meterage goal for myself, my goal is simply to finish everything in Ravelry that is currently marked as work in progress. I am aiming to finish, with the exception of my wedding shawl, because that's massive and it still needs beads, and I can't buy beads until I have a dress, and I haven't even made plans to go find a dress.
Well, that's because your brother isn't ready to go dress shopping yet, and when he's able to go dress shopping, we're going to go, because he's going to be your man of honor.
Yes.
So, I think
that'll happen at some point.
Whatever. Your wedding is until next August, she says questioningly.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, man.
I've already booked you to do my makeup. I hope you know when my wedding is.
I wrote it down in the book for the daytimer for next year so that I wasn't booking myself on that day. So, yes, I technically am aware of when I have to be free to do these things.
Okay.
Oh, boy. I'm not off the top of my head right now. I'm still buried in this summer and the stuff I have to do at the end of the year. But it is marked down. So, yes, that has definitely been booked. I am thinking I'm going to have to up my Stash Dash goal, which is why I kind of held off so far on posting in the official thread for it. Mostly, again, primarily because I'm not sure what my meterage is going to be sitting at. But if I manage to do all of the stuff I'm thinking I'm going to do this summer, and I'm really sort of basing it on how fast I do this fingering weight shawl that I'm working on, because this is my first fingering weight shawl. I almost exclusively work in worsted weights. I find them easier to see, so I'm going to sort of gauge how long it takes me to do a shawl under pressure, and sort of double that time frame for how I would do a shawl normally, like not under pressure while I'm working on other things, and go from there. So I might end up going up to 7K in my mind. So we'll see. We'll see how quickly the Etsy store goes, and I have some other things that I have to do, so we will give it a go and see what happens. So once I officially have a thing, I will go post in the Knit Girls feeds for Finish Lines and start posting pictures of the finished works and stuff. So I have meterages. I'm not, because I'm only competing against myself, I'm not like super serious about my meterages or what's going where or how things are going, so I'm not doing it like by weight to the gram, but I'm going, okay, so I used the pattern called for about this many yards, and this is what I've got left over, and it's roughly this many yards of leftover yarn. So, but I'm not competing against anyone myself, so the only person I'm cheating is myself if I overestimate. So
that seems entirely reasonable.
So I'm gonna do that.
Other long-term sort of knit-alongs?
Sure.
Tour de Fleece.
Oh, right.
Tour de Fleece runs July 1st to 23rd in tandem with the Tour de France.
It is.
So I'm going to unofficially join, just because I'm such a new spinner. I don't want to be joining any teams, but I'll just be like, I'm gonna be a sideline participant, just all on my own, just for the fun of it.
Why not?
And the community of it.
Yeah.
So I don't have any specific projects in mind, because I'm not even experienced enough to have specific spinning projects. So my Tour de Fleece goal is simply to spin every day. And if that means for 2 minutes and I get frustrated with it, that's okay. So long as I actually attempt to spin every day.
I think that's a really good goal. I'm not sure, because I do have yarn.
You do have that fleece that I've been coveting.
My roving, yes.
Yes.
I do have some mighty nice roving. I don't have a spindle yet, so if I get the spindle ordered and in on time, I will probably participate in third fleece. So that's...
Well, if you're going to Wolseley at some point, I think they have some drop spindles.
They do, so I might eyeball the
I don't know if they have
spindles.
Turkish, though, and you're talking about doing Turkish.
I'm thinking Turkish. I like the design for the Turkish a bit better, so we will see how that goes, but I am definitely open to the thought on that one.
Some non-knitting stuff coming up. We have Icon in July.
We do.
Which we will take our knitting to, but it is an anime convention, not a knitting convention.
But you're right, it is an anime convention, not a knitting convention, which is fine.
Oh yeah. I will
totally knit and still enjoy anime.
I will potentially attempt to do my hair in some kind of crazy anime style and like maybe stick knitting needles in it for picture purposes.
That'd be hilarious.
I could totally do it. Because I've got, if I can like temporarily dye my hair some crazy color, I can have like the insanely long anime pigtails.
Yes, you could.
So I might do something vaguely entertaining like that.
That'd be hilarious. That would be so wonderful. My hair's nice and short right now. It is growing longer. It's a lot longer than it was at the beginning of the year.
But if you put a whole bunch of gel in it, you can have the crazy spiky anime hair.
I certainly could. I'm not sure if that will suit my facial structure that well.
Does that really matter at a con?
Not really, and it would be really good to see the looks on the bus.
See, that's why I love living in Osborne, because no matter how weirdly I'm dressed for whatever con I'm going to, I am not the weirdest person on the bus.
I am such the weird person on the bus coming in from the suburbs.
Yeah.
Till I get to Osborne, and then more of my kind are around, and I'm a little less awkward looking. That's fine. I'm looking forward to Icon. Right after Icon, you are off for a couple of other conventions, and I'm freed to run the podcast on my own. Oh,
or
man.
something. I don't know. Yeah,
because
Icon is July 21st to 23rd. The afternoon of the 23rd, I get on an airplane to Vegas for a week of cybersecurity conferences, namely B-Sides and DEF CON. I will be away from July 23rd to August 1st, so I will be missing at least one podcast.
Yep.
Unless we want to do one, like, really early and then the other one kind of really late.
Well, we can also take a look at maybe doing one over Skype or something, too.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that I'm not gonna be in any sort of podcasting state while I'm away.
We can also just use it as a take a break if I decide to go out and visit my parents at that time.
Yeah, we might have to call some summer holidays.
Yeah, that's fine.
For at least 1 week, possibly two. Because I come back on a Tuesday as well, and I'll be in no fit state to podcast.
No, I think you'll be in a fit state to sleep.
Oh, I don't even know what's going to happen.
We'll figure that out when we get closer to the dates.
Yeah. And then things that are left after that. Oh, the Manitoba Fibre Festival, September 15th and 16th.
Oh my god, I can't wait.
That'll be our local fibre festival, which is super nice. We can go pet some alpacas and some bunnies.
Oh, I can't wait to see the local dyers and see what they've brought to the Fibre Festival and to see the live alpacas and stuff, but to check out the fleeces and that as well too. And to sit and knit and chat and hang out with my own kind.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy, wonderful knitting ladies. And men. Men too.
I like sticking my hands into bags of alpaca fleece.
Because it goes poof and feels fuzzy.
It's so soft. so warm. It's so nice.
I can't blame you. I would as well. So, those are things we've got that's coming up. We have one more official event that we're going to go to that has nothing to do with knitting. But we're taking our knitting anyway.
Yes, well, it might have something to do with sewing because we'll be making costumes for C4.
We will.
Which is Central Canada Comic Con, happening October 27th through the 29th.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the, well, obviously local comic convention.
It is. It's the biggest convention I think the city runs that's sort of centered around gaming and
I think it just might be the biggest.
Science fiction, fantasy. I'm pretty sure, well, we also do like the Wonderful Wedding and Show and stuff too.
Oh, that's also pretty big.
Yeah, there are other really big conventions, but that's really the biggest one we go to.
It's the biggest nerd one.
Yeah, that's good. We'll say that, the biggest nerd one. So there will be definitely, maybe we'll do some Facebook Live events at some of these non-knitting spaces while we're knitting.
Yes, and there will be more So Little Time as we rapidly run out of time.
Oh my goodness,
It'll be a very apt segment title.
It will definitely be conclusive to my state of mind. I'm going, I said I wasn't going to do this year. We just put it off to the last minute.
Anyway. We'll burn that bridge when we come to it.
Pretty much. I mean, it's entirely possible we'll add some more stuff to that plate and do our own things. I finally figured out what pattern I want to do for my summer knitting for the yarn that we picked up. We talked about a couple podcasts ago. I got a hedgehog fibers in the Poison Way and a summer silk in a white, like a cream white.
Mm-hmm.
And I've decided the Poison colorway is a really dark black cherry red to red colorway. It is beautiful, aptly named, but it's beautiful, deep, variegated red yarn. And I'm going to do that, and the white, I'm going to do the bendy arrow shawl.
That looks so nice.
Yeah. You still haven't decided what you want to do with your... Technically, what we decided would be our first knit along that we would host.
I'm still planning on doing what I said I was going to do with it.
Okay, good.
It's just not getting started while I'm finishing stuff for Stash Dash.
That's totally fair. So we may run an official knit along, which I suspect will be finish when you finish as a cruise date for it.
Yeah, by official it'll be. We'll talk about it every week.
Yeah. Well, when we get bigger, maybe we'll do a prize or something. We can put in a skein of yarn for people who participate and post in the Ravelry site and stuff. So we'll do some talking off air and see what we like for those ideas.
All right.
So that's events.
That is events.
Oh, goodness. And woohoo!
For the book review.
Oh, heavens.
The last segment.
Absolutely.
This week we are reviewing another library book. It is The Best of Interweave Knits, Our Favorite Designs from the First 10 Years, edited by Anne Budd with an introduction by Pam Allen.
Nice.
It retails for $24.95 US or $29.95 Canada, or at least it did when it was published circa 2007.
Well, I'm not always getting the newest books out of the library.
Whatever, it's a good book.
It is a good book. I like collection books, especially when they're doing like best ofs over a period of years. It really sort of gives you an idea to the style that was going on at the time.
It does have a certain early mid 2000s vibe going on.
Absolutely, there's nothing wrong with that. I happen to like the early 2000s, mid 2000s vibe. So, shall we do an overview and then patterns, or do we want to do patterns and then overview?
Well, let's start with an overview.
Sure. What did you think overall of the book?
I thought the photography was pretty good, as Interweave tends to be pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I could have possibly liked more photography. They kind of had the one big picture and then a couple of smaller ones.
I think that might just be a sign of when the book was published.
Yeah, could be.
We've gotten so used to the now mid-2000s photography, which, when it's done well, is done really well. And then when it's not, we sort of go, really? Couldn't you have done that? And I'm not sure that was where the photography was at the time.
Fair enough.
So.
Anyway, so it's got decent photography.
Mm-hmm.
The size range, I looked at a couple of them. It's all right.
There was only one pattern that I was sort of interested in, but it only came in one size.
Oh, which one was that?
One of the ones at the end of the book. So I was like, I'm not doing that much math. No. I don't like it that much. I just sort of like the sleeve detail on it, so it's like, no, not enough. Not enough to do the math to go around the girls, and to lengthen the thing, so it'd be long enough for me. So I'm like, negative, Captain.
Fair enough.
Not happening.
Did you take a look at any of the techniques articles in any depth?
I really liked the techniques articles. I enjoyed reading them. I would honestly say, for people, if they're looking at it and they enjoy the techniques but they really don't enjoy the patterns, it's still a book worth getting. They did a really good job with the techniques. It was definitely beyond the basics. It was that nice intermediate level technique showing that you are kind of looking for, like, different ways to bind off, different ways to cast on, different ways to do
increases
and decreases.
in lace or not.
Yeah, so I really had beyond the basics of chart reading, beyond basic lace work, just sort of giving you that middle step between intro or easy beginner knitting and intermediate advanced knitting, which I thought was amazing. Like, for a collection, that makes so much sense.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it has some solid techniques articles in there.
Mm-hmm. No,
I mean, the techniques articles is an interweave knits thing, so they have solid techniques sections.
They do. They really do. No, I was quite impressed with that part of the book.
So, some disclosure, I do have a subscription to the Interweave Knits magazine, so I'm slightly biased towards liking interweave knits. So it's interesting to see an older collection of it from before I was knitting.
Yeah, I just thought it was cute, and it looked like it might have some cute patterns in it, so it came home.
Definitely did. I was apparently all about the pullover sweaters, and one stole.
Oh, well, I didn't have a ton, which was fine. If it had just been the patterns that caught my eye, I probably wouldn't say pick up the book, but the patterns plus the techniques really sort of brought it home for me, but I did not like too many. So what was the first pullover you liked?
I think it was the very first one in the book, Marcel's sweater.
Okay.
Let's flip open to it. There we go. It is, in fact, the very first sweater.
Well, that makes that easy.
It's sort of in this, I'm going to call it lime mustard color, which I don't like the color, but I like the sweater.
I would not recommend that color for you, no.
No, it would be a terrible color on me, but I like the sweater.
That's fair.
It's sort of a turtleneck, sort of cable-y, but just like a nice all-over texture to it.
You're not boring, it's just light.
Let's see. I think I like the first few sweaters in here, so I'll just keep going if that isn't.
Oh yeah, the case. No, it's a ways down before we hit my first one.
Yeah, I mostly like the stuff at the beginning of the book, so I'll just lead the charge here.
Absolutely.
The second sweater in the book is the basket weave pullover, which is a men's sweater, or perhaps a very baggy, comfy women's sweater.
Mm-hmm.
Either way, I really like it. It's just a solid pullover sweater with a solid all-over texture. I'm really into the solid all-over texture, kind of relatively traditional-looking knitting, apparently.
Well, I mean, and there's something about an all-over pattern where once you get into the groove, it'll just fly, which is, there's nothing wrong with that.
It looks like it feels nice to, like, scrunch it in your fingers.
Mm-hmm. Which is also a really big bonus.
Let's see. Oh, no, that's a technique section. Flip past that, because I'm not going to talk about that.
We already did.
The thing that I liked was the 3-penny pullover, which is a couple more sweaters in.
Well, the first one I liked was the Cabernet Raglan, so when you hit that one, let me know.
Alright. Yeah, I like the 3-penny pullover. It's another just kind of all-over cable-y, texture-y. Can you tell I like all-over cable-y, texture-y patterns?
Well, I am also a fan of the cable. I find I'm a little more particular in pullovers, which is fine. It's just my preference. I think if it was a cardigan, I would be all over the pattern. I mean, there's nothing saying I couldn't make it a cardigan.
True.
So, it definitely has some options. If I'm willing to, as they say, hack the pattern to make it my own.
Sorry, what was the one that you said?
Cabernet.
Cabernet. Okay, I haven't got to that one yet. My last sweater that I liked was the Marseille pullover, which is, yet again, an all-over cable-y texture pattern pullover sweater.
I think you might have all-over cable-y pattern pullovers on the brain.
Apparently. Apparently, being 30 degrees outside means I need thick, cable-y fall-winter sweaters.
I agree.
I don't know. I don't know where my brain's at.
Right under the air conditioning vent at work.
It's so loud.
That might be why you're into the whole cable-y thing.
Cabernet, where are you at? Are you the Cabernet? Yes, you are.
So the Cabernet Raglan.
Yes, I thought about that one, but I don't know, it didn't quite speak to me.
Oh, it just... I am a mess as much as I love an all-over pattern, and as much as I love me like a houndstooth and a plaid and loud variegated striped yarns. There's something about a nice, clean, classic, rich colored pullover that doesn't have a lot of detailing, but it's got a lot of nice sort of structure to it. And I really like, and raglans look good on so many people. They're also incredibly versatile, so adding the length I want to hit me in the right spots is nothing. I also need to do no adaptations to this pattern to fit me size-wise.
That is true.
They go up to my size chest. So, yes, buckets of yes. In like a deep pumpkin orange.
Okay.
For the viewers who don't know me, I can wear orange.
Yes. I cannot wear orange.
I wear those deep, rich fall colors quite well. The forest greens and the burgundy reds and the deep pumpkin spice oranges and the really deep, rich blues.
I can do that, but not the orange.
I can do all of them. I can even do that really super dark, almost red pink. Yeah. So I can... The only colors I really can't wear for my undertone is anything pastel. The pastel colors in me, they wash me out a lot, so I don't wear those. And I have to be careful with which shade of beige I'm picking. Or I pick the wrong shade of beige and it's not good, guys. So that was the first one. I really enjoyed the shawl and the stole that were in there. Those are the ones I hearted. That I was like, yes.
Oh yes, the that's probably the same stole. The nope, that's not.
There's an Icarus shawl.
Ah yes, that's the one that I'm on.
Which I hearted and frowny faced.
Why is it frowny faced? Heart's obvious, but why is it frowny faced?
For the people who can't see this gorgeous cobweb lace weight. Decorative.
Okay. Yeah.
Beautiful shawl. I'm going to repeat the words lace weight here.
Yeah, okay.
I can barely see the fingering weight yarn.
Okay.
I don't think I can actually knit in a lace weight. I'm not against trying. I certainly wouldn't do it with something like the Icarus one, which is quite a bit of a complex pattern. But yeah. Even in a white, I would struggle to see what I am doing a lot more than I already struggled to see what I'm doing with the fingering weight stuff. So I think it's just one of those ones I'm going to have to, like some of the other stuff that I have on in my queue or that I've looked at where I've gone, I would love to, maybe if I exclusively knitted it under a magnifying glass. Could be something, but it is something I'm going to have to experiment with swatches and some smaller stuff to see what I can and can't see and how well it's going to work for me. So it's frowny faced because it might be a pipe dream, but it is hearted because I would love to own a shawl.
It is very pretty.
And that pattern, it is so gorgeous. So pretty. And again, in that lace weight, done. It would be so nice. The charts are great, the row counts are great, the instructions are wonderfully clear in all the patterns, which is awesome. I'm super excited by.
I'd almost say the charts are a tiny bit small. Oh, note, use a photocopier to enlarge these charts.
There you go.
Snur.
Since I have to use a photocopier to enlarge charts that people find large enough, this is a step I already have to do.
Alright.
Apologies for my allergies, they're going haywire today.
It's summer.
Yep.
Not officially, but unofficially, officially, it's summer.
Things are growing.
The forest path stole.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
So much yes.
Oh, yes.
This is the only one that I actually gave a heart to. The other ones were like, yeah, this is pretty good. This one's like, I really, really want this.
If I had a tonal forest green in my stash, I would have already cast it on. And it'll be something I'll be keeping an eye out for when we're at the Fibre Festival this fall, because that's when all the fall colors will be out, to see if I can find some tonals that would be, or speckles that would be just...
You know what I just realized about this?
Buckets of yes for me.
Not only is this a large lace rectangular shawl.
Yes, it is.
It's also done in entrelac, is that how you say it?
Yeah, I think it's entrelac, yeah.
Yeah, it's entrelac.
Yep.
Lace.
Yep.
Giant rectangle.
Yep.
Ha ha ha.
Yeah.
Ha 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 ha.
I've never done entrelac, so why not? Let's learn. Things are only as complicated as you think them to be.
True.
I will also blindly walk off the bus onto the sidewalk in the middle of the night, and that is akin to walking off the side of the Grand Canyon because you're not too sure how far down it is.
And there could be a really big pothole.
And there could be a really big pothole, so I take risks in everyday life.
Life is an adventure.
Life is an adventure for me, so why not? What's the worst thing that's going to happen? I discover I don't super enjoy Entrelac and I don't do it again. Not a problem. I won't know till I try.
Fair enough.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, I was like, oh my word. Oh my word.
So pretty.
I need it.
If I hadn't already picked out my wedding shawl.
It would be tempting.
It would be very tempting.
It's a nice pattern. I mean, overall, the collection is not bad. Even for being early 2000s, it's still got a lot of staying power.
I mean, lace is always gorgeous.
Oh, it's so pretty. I feel like I just need to work on it so that my brain's got the, what everybody calls muscle memory, which is just your brain memorizing patterns. It's not actually muscle memory, it's just your brain memorizing things.
Yep.
And see if I can memorize them at a fingering weight and then just do it off memory on the lace weight. I mean, it means essentially I'm making the same thing twice. But that's not a problem. If I like the lace enough to want to knit it, oh no, I'll have two of them.
Gosh darn.
That's a tragedy.
Oh. Two gorgeous lace stoles.
God, whatever will I do with myself?
Oh, I don't know.
So
that's the end of my hearted stuff.
That was it for me.
That's
it was just the 3 patterns. I really did enjoy them. And for me, they're certainly worthwhile re-loaning the books out from the library to make those patterns at some point. So I will record the information. And yawn, I swear it's not boring. It's just past old lady bedtime.
It's past 10 o'clock at night.
It is. Jocelyn falls asleep now.
Yeah, it's coming up on my bedtime too.
Hey, we had a wonderful dinner. We've done our podcasting. It's been a nice, relaxing evening after a hectic morning. And that's totally fine. And so long as Jocelyn doesn't fall down on her job, we should have a podcast out on Thursday. Woo. That'll be exciting to have it out on time. Oh, yeah. Man. I know we've got some other stuff, and we could certainly keep talking ad nauseum. Because we're going to, but we're getting better at doing the admin stuff off air. Yeah. That'll come with time and practice, whatever, no worries. Diana, why don't you tell everybody where they can find us?
You can find us on Ravelry and Instagram and Pinterest as Northern Knits Podcast. We also have a Facebook page and group.
We do.
And our blog with all our show notes is at northernknitspodcast.com. You can also email us at northernknitspodcast@gmail.com. Jocelyn, where can they find you on the internet?
I am on the internet. I am of the interwebs.
You are the internet.
You know what? There would be an inception moment there.
Be one with the internet.
Be one with your inner interweb. What? No. I don't drink. This is just how nuts my brain. It's just, I'm tired. We're going off into crazy land now. So I'm found most places on the interwebs as Amber Dragon, sometimes with a 1 afterwards, depending on how quickly I've snagged the name. Specifically, I spend most of my life on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Ravelry, Pinterest, for man do I love posting the pins. And it's such a great info gathering place. I am learning and getting more comfortable with Etsy, Facebook Live, and Instagram Stories. I'm also on the Snapchats. I have never done a Periscope, but I would totally be game to do a Periscope. I think that'd be quite fun if anybody's interested. I watch Periscopes, I just don't do Periscope. Does that make sense? If you're on Periscope, you know what I'm talking about. I have blogs, of which there is one on reading books. There's one on my life going blind. I have a YouTube channel about makeup and books, and I am starting a blog specifically about knitting, which is actually linked to my Ravelry page, even though I do not yet have a post up. I have some posts edited and ready to go, so I just need to start posting.
You're a lot of places.
I am a lot of places. The biggest one is Ravelry and Etsy right now for me. Those are the biggest ones. So it's just like, everybody come be my friend on Ravelry and Etsy. That'd be so cool. Just come be my friend. More friends. I need more.
More friends.
Bring on the friends.
Alright, I am fewer places on the internet. I am on Instagram and Twitch as Firewater and Fiber. And I'm on Ravelry as Wool-Rat. To mention on Twitch, I'm going to start trying to make Wednesday virtual knit night a thing. So I'm thinking about 8:30 Central Canada time. On Wednesdays we'll be streaming. CST, yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's CDT right now because we're in daylight.
Yes, you're right. We are in daylight. CDT.
Yeah. So 8:30 my time on twitch.tv/firewater and fiber. Fiber spelled Fiber, the American way, even though we are Canadian, because RE is stupid.
That's fine. I spell, you'll always know who's emailing you or replying to you if you watch us spell fiber. Because I will spell it RE and Diana spells it ER. So it doesn't matter who signed the post. If you're paying attention to that little spelling flip, that'll tell you which one of the two of us sent the email.
Well, now that you pointed it out.
It's going to be glaringly obvious. I think for everybody, I would say join the Ravelry page. If you've enjoyed the podcast, please rate us on iTunes.
And Google Play.
Give us...
But mostly iTunes, because that one's bigger.
Well, iTunes has the better infographics for it, so we know what we're doing that people are enjoying and what they might want to see changes and stuff. And please, share us with your friends. Add us along. Let's build up a great community, because I know we've got some great giveaways we want to do, but there's there's subscription numbers we need to get to before we do that. Is a congratulations to everybody and all the work. Share your projects with me on Ravelry. I would love to see what everybody's working on. That would be so cool. I'm going to open up a couple of threads this week. We will eventually remember to post our episodes in the Ravelry group.
Yeah.
It will happen. We're getting there.
Jocelyn's far more social than I am. I will stick my nose in occasionally and, go, ooh, pretty!
Yep.
But yeah, Jocelyn will be far more active upon the social medias.
It's the nature of our personalities. I'm also one of those people that will make friends with other people on the bus that I have no idea who they are, and I will get a life story, and I will make coffee date plans with just random strangers I meet on the side of the street. That's just part of who I am.
I don't do that.
So it's... I don't think in my mind I can have too many friends.
That is not my issue. That's
far too many interesting people on this planet that I need to be friends with. I need to be friends with the Stitchin' Sisters. I need to be friends with all the ladies at River City Knits. I need to be friends with the Grocery Girls. I need to be friends with the Actually Knitting podcasts. I need to be friends with everybody. They're just too amazing not to be friends with. So until next week, I'm Jocelyn.
And I'm Diana.
Saying no matter where your week takes you,
don't forget to knit.
And we're done.
Done.
Is there still a puppy dog on the screen?
No, just a kitty.
Just my kitty?
Just my kitty.
Is he sleeping?
No, he's sticking his butt at me.
Oh, that's always appropriate. Thanks, electronic kitty.
Poke. Well, now he's sideways. It's better, I guess. I don't have cat butt.
Well, electronic cat butt's less disgusting than real cat butt.
Come here, says the cat. No. You are far too demanding, a virtual furry creature.